I'm really quiet still.
Yeah. Well, the music's just really loud.
Okay, then let me turn down the music a little bit. I think it was possibly just the... Hang on, if I'm really close to the microphone, can you hear me? Barely?
I can hear myself more than I can hear you.
You can hear yourself more than me?
It's fine.
It's fine?
Yeah.
Are you sure? It doesn't sound like it's fine.
I just had to turn my headset up a lot.
Oh. Okay. What computer volume are you at then? Was it a you problem?
I think it was a me problem.
Okay. Great.
But the music was loud.
It was loud?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of figured. It's hard to... Can I turn it up on my end? Not really. It doesn't matter. I'm a little bit sick right now. But I don't really care enough because I wanted to get started on streaming again in general, just because I haven't for 7 months. But something I specifically wanted to do was about a year ago I played through Thousand Year Door, and I've kept wanting to keep going through the series again, but also recently I watched Chugga Conroy's review of Sticker Star. I watched it as it came out, and then I watched it again when he just uploaded the entire review put all together. It made me think okay, everyone agrees that Sticker Star is the worst in the series, but I don't entirely hate Color Splash from what I remember. It was a Sticker Star 2, but I don't feel like it was necessarily bad still. There were bad parts, I agree, but I remember my experience being overall a good experience, right? And so I wanted to see if I had that same opinion today. I'm gonna get started on this. One of the things that everyone knows about Sticker Star, that it's bad, is the story. Is that there's no story. I feel like sorry, I'm gonna be coughing throughout the whole stream basically. I feel like here, I can take a cough drop. It's gonna be kind of the same thing with Color Splash. I don't remember there being any real story really, or if there was, it was very, very bare bones, but only a step above Sticker Star. It's at least not another Peach got kidnapped and now you have to... Actually, no, I'm eating my words on that already. I'm pretty sure Peach did get kidnapped at some point. Is the music still loud? I feel like I can barely hear it.
You can hear it.
You can hear it? About the same volume as me, though?
You can hear the game quieter.
Alright. Whatever. And then one of the opinions I held, and I'm sure I'm going to keep holding on to, is that this game looks amazing. Not Sticker Star. Color Splash and Origami King, and I think the new Thousand Year Door are going to keep the same aesthetic overall, and I think it's amazing, and with how much work that they've clearly put into all of this. Just looking at the boat itself and seeing how it collides into the water, and just looking at the water itself, it's like there's so much detail put into every single thing on here. It looks amazing overall. I think it's going to, throughout the entire game, keep like surprising with how amazing it is. And then the other thing that everyone says is that the humor in this game is amazing. And I remember laughing a lot, like just reading all the dialogue. But I feel like the humor itself isn't like, it's not a point that can hold the game as good on its own. I also watched. Did I even read that? Okay. I also watched Arlo's review, which, if you know him, he's the guy who reviews everything with a puppet. And he was like one of the big known people to talk about Color Splash. Like when the trailer came out and he put out a thing that was like, I'm disappointed because this is just Sticker Star 2. And I thought it would automatically click. And then when the game came out, he put out a review. And then I also watched his updated review that was like, this game is actually worse than I remember. But it was only like 3 years after the game came out. I don't think overall it's going to be like a bad experience. I think there are going to be parts that I'm going to get frustrated at, and that I'm going to be like, that's stupid, why is that there, or why why did it like force me to do that kind of thing, or why is the game designed like this? But I don't think it brought the game down overall. Actually, I think it kind of did, but it's not like, it doesn't bring it down to like F tier gameplay. Because the battle system, which is, it's alright, it's not great because it takes from Sticker Star, but it's one part, you know? Like, obviously reading dialogue isn't a gameplay kind of thing, even though that's what people say about, like, Pokemon, is that you just mash A. You, like, read dialogue, you just select a move, and that's it. And I feel like this game at least has more depth than that. Blue hit, yellow pull, red jump. Blue hit. I feel like some of the overworld puzzles, if they don't require you use a thing card, which thing cards are they're both technically in Sticker Star and in Color Splash here, like in their own ways, kind of. And I feel like they improved thing cards in here, but it's still not great. Red jump, I think it said. Where was the yellow pole? Scanning the screen. That's not it. Was it a flower? Was it here? I feel like the other thing that people say about Sticker Star is that it has like a few good things about it, and one of them is the World 4, the Ice World overall, just like the theming, the design of it and everything. That's like the best part, and then the other part is the music. I don't the theme of Color Splash, like that theme is like alright, but I don't remember anything else, so I can't say whether or not like I can't say whether or not the rest of the music is good or bad. It's just like I don't know. We'll see when we listen to it. I want to say that I'm going to keep comparing. I don't feel like I'm going to keep comparing Color Splash to the earlier games, 1, 2, or Super. I feel like I'm mainly just going to be comparing it to Sticker Star and what Origami King takes from this game. Just because I don't... I enjoy older Paper Mario a lot more, but I feel like modern Paper Mario can have its merits, and each game does certain things well, and even though it wasn't... I gave you so many. It's in the trailer for the game. That was one of the confusing things when this game came out. Modern Paper Mario and older Paper Mario feel like two different series almost, because even though there are parts that of each like sub series in the series that like coincide with the other sub series, they still like mainly are considered their own thing, and even I would still align Super Paper Mario with the first two Paper Mario games, even though it's like such a departure in gameplay. It's still so it was so similar in not theming necessarily, definitely not design, because it was supposed to be like a different dimension that you're in, but it was such a... Oh, I forget what you do this to him. I was fully prepared for him to be like 3D like that for the rest of the game. I don't know why I didn't remember that he looked like this. Super Paper Mario felt so similar in charm to the first two, and like in writing. Because it wasn't really necessarily what each character was saying, it was the fact that, like, you could tell, like, the same people were writing for the games, and even if they weren't, they knew what the Paper Mario, like, style was at that point, because 2 games had come out. So they knew what they wanted the series to be for the future, and even though Sticker Star didn't keep with that, it was still... Oh god, they're doing the tutorial on the bottom screen. It was still so, like... This is the same series for sure, just a different style.
Ooh, sorry.
You're good. One of the things that Arlo said in his review was that... this looks so boring, I'm sure, because you can only see... Because he's doing a tutorial on the bottom screen right now, but it's just me trying to, like, skip past all of it. One of the things that he said was... like, sluggish with this game was how long it takes to get... Oh, you have to use the... Alright. Is how long it takes to actually get through a battle each time. Because there's so many button presses, and I think he said to play like a... to play a simple jump attack, it'll take like 12 button presses or screen touches. I feel like he was over-exaggerating a little bit. Not necessarily in like the number of times you have to touch the screen, but just like he really drove home the point that like it takes so long and it pulls you out of the gameplay or whatever, but it's really like whatever, you know? Like, it's... Even though it's a lot easier to just do an attack in Thousand Year Door or something, it's not really that big of a deal. It just kind of... I agree it slows things down a little bit, but it's... He makes... Like, that's it. It'll just take, like, a few extra seconds. I don't think over the course of the game it's not really that... it's not that sluggish. I want to use a different word, but it's like... It doesn't bog you down that much. It's just kind of... there. And yeah, they could have taken out certain... they could have taken out certain tasks in the process. Like, there's a whole flicking mechanic at the very end of selecting your cards where it's like, that's useless. You're throwing your cards from the Wii U gamepad up to the screen, but it's like, that's not really necessary. But it's just whatever. And I use the button controls, and I feel like it's so much easier to do that once I actually get access. Here, I'm gonna do it right now. Settings. They won't let me switch it. Okay. Then I guess I'll do that next. Oh, right. Once I get the button controls, I swear it goes like so much faster, just because there's no like guessing. Like, you can use your finger or you can use the stylus, but it's It's just faster to use the buttons. I don't know why you would want to mess with like the finicky controls of the touchscreen in the first place. I think we're gonna get to the other part, or like the other part of the gameplay of Color Splash, and that's you've seen all of these. Well, there's not actually any on screen besides this guy, but we just kind of showed it with the other Toad, was filling in like white spots like that. And like bringing color back to the world. I think it's interesting how I think it's like I think it's a fun gameplay mechanic overall, but I don't think when you have one little like spot left in a level, I don't think it's fun trying to search for that very last one. Just because oftentimes it's like they have these like bricks that you can see on the ground here that everyone is like stepping on here, and they'll have one of them as white, but it'll be like one that's you think is just supposed to be like the color between like the darker ones, and it just blends in so much more easily, and it's I was doing fine. I had to stop talking when I was doing that, but it's fine. I think, see, like something like this, like any one of these on the ring on the outside of this mushroom design, I feel like any one of these could be not filled in, and I'm just not seeing it. But it doesn't really look like any. It doesn't look like there's really any spots to color in, at least in this section so far, from what I'm seeing. It was mainly in this main room where you can definitely see what I'm talking about, with all of those spots on the ground. And that makes sense where you're like, where you have all of those. Because it's like, yeah, you can definitely tell that that's missing there. That's not supposed to be like that. But I want to get to a point, I want to get to one of the non-colored in spots where it just looks not out of place. I think when I'm playing this game too, I'm gonna call on Huey. I'm gonna try to call on him a little often to see if the hints that he gives are like actually worthwhile, because I don't think I ever really generally called on him when I was playing the first time. I don't remember him giving any like helpful hints, which sucks when he is the hint system, kind of. So is the goal right now just to giving me anything helpful when I was stuck on something. Like, I don't remember, but I feel like I checked with him before just, like, looking something up. This feels a little extra for them to be putting all of these spots all over. That's the other thing with these spots that makes it like less enjoyable, is that you can miss and you have to fill it in twice, and I feel like I use a lot more paint. I'm already out of red. I feel like I use a lot more paint when I'm not, when I have to fill things in using multiple hits. Also, I don't remember where they give you a lot of red stuff. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that right now and just going to this place, or like going up to the paint star, maybe. Will you fix the bridge for me? Okay. Let's see what he wants. Sure. Let's actually do it. I feel like I was probably supposed to go up that. Didn't I fill you in already? Maybe I didn't. I feel like I was supposed to go up that green, past that green fence once I fill it in. But I'm just gonna follow what Huey says for a minute. Don't lose all my red paint. I'm already. Maybe that was a little obvious, but I don't. Alright, I guess that does get me a bit back. This is the other thing that Arlo said in his review, was that he never ran out of paint. And I feel like that means that he wasn't filling in all of the paint splotches. Wasn't there another guy over here that was supposed to? Yeah. I feel like that means he wasn't filling in all of his paint splotches. Just because with certain levels, I feel like there's so many like right in a row, and so many that use all of the same like color. So like all of red, or all of blue, or all of yellow. And I feel like that happens so often to where it did make it a little bit worth it to fill in, or to battle people, so that you can get more paint scraps, so that you can get a better max amount of paint. Everyone says with Sticker Star, and I think with Color Splash too, that the best way to fight is literally just to flee. So I'm gonna see if I can do that, and if it gets rid of the... No. I don't know if that was like, if this is just because it's a required battle, or if... I'm gonna try matching it to see if that helps. No, I think this is a required battle. So there's at least one time where you're not, where it's not better to just run. Oh, when can I don't like using the touchpad in the first place. But did it seem when I was selecting my attack, did it really seem like it was taking so long to actually get to the attack? I used the already filled in card, but I don't think it slowed me down that much. It's just like you get used to it. You get as long as you're actually doing it, you get used to it and you understand, like, okay, here's what I do, here's what I do, here's what I do. That's it. It's not bad. It takes a second, but so does like finding an item in your items in in Thousand Year Door. I think I'll just fill in the toads first, and then fill in the splotches. Unless I have like a bunch of paint, I guess. That's sick, man. Rough. Let's see, especially just because didn't I just have a full blue meter, or like close to full? That was only 2 hits, and that already brought me. See, this is one of those things, because something about the design of the world makes this like blend in a little bit, and I think this is one of the things that you have to fill in for the for the puzzle to progress. But I feel like I missed this, and I feel like it's very easy to miss, even though I saw it like within a second playing here today. But I feel like you have to like get so used to looking for the right thing. No, it wasn't even required. I'm gonna leave those for now. Hello. Oh, perfect. You okay? Yeah, tell me. Thought he was trying to kiss me. I have to remember to check and see if the other options are available now. Nope. Me too, man. So, let me see. Can I change? Is it under this? Settings. I can now. So, I'm gonna try basic and buttons. I feel like if I put advanced touch controls, that it doesn't get rid of part of it. So let me see first. After I get into my next battle, I'll remember. Because I feel like using the buttons is a lot more like intuitive overall. Because even though it's... Here, I'll select a different card. That felt faster. Like, I know it was slower, but it felt faster. It was mainly slower because I was picking a different card. But... Oh, I already have more paint. It's not bad, too. Let me see. Something I don't like that Origami King improved from this game is that when you use paint in this game and you don't actually hit anything that you're meaning to, in the overworld I'm talking about. The paint that you use is just gone, and it just like uses a random paint color, which is fun. Like seeing it in the overworld like that, like just seeing it, now it's orange there, great. But now I just have slightly less red and yellow in my stock. Oh, by the way, I don't think I ever mentioned this. I have a cat cam now. You can see him in there. He's Sam? You wanna pick up your head? He's probably sleeping. But he's just laying in the bed there. And I've been like trying to lean over to the side more so that I don't get in the way at all. Which is probably fine. Go ahead and take that off now. What was I saying? Oh, it just wastes your paint a little bit. And with Origami King, they have like the confetti mechanic, which is basically the same thing as this, but better, because the confetti automatically goes to where the hole you're trying to fill in is, and that one got me. I feel like it's just better overall because it actually it gives you back the confetti that doesn't end up getting used towards a hole. But whenever you're using paint in this overworld, it's just like, alright, you used it and now it's gone. And now you need to just hit something else to get some more paint. And you have to be very specific in what you hit, because say if I hit this blue flower, it'll only give me blue. If I hit the yellow, or if I hit the red, it'll only give me red. But certain things are nicer because they do, because something like, okay. Alright. Because if you hit like an orange or something, it'll give you orange paint, which gives you both red and yellow, which is nice, but it doesn't give you a lot overall. And it's hard to figure out, like, where can I go to get a bunch of paint just refilled pretty easily, besides you'll unlock later on the fountains in Port Prisma. But even then, you're not gonna come there just to get your paint refilled each level. Like, it gives you a bunch of paint blobs to refill your paint at the end of each level, but sometimes you don't have enough, or like it doesn't give you a lot, I feel like, even if you used a lot of paint throughout the level. And so you start the next one and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna keep hitting things and trying to refill it while I'm going on with everything else, and like unloading all of my paint onto all of the splotches of the world too. Great. Hello, I can see you up there. Do I have any other multi-hit ones? Or am I just gonna have to do this one at a time? I have hammers, maybe that'll work. It's not bad. Whenever you work with the battle mechanics of this too, it's also being annoyed by, if I just fill this in while he's doing it. It's being annoyed by not being able to target specific enemies while, and that does, okay. Not being able to target specific enemies, just because it's like I want to jump on this enemy and not and not accidentally jump on like the spiked enemy later in the line. But if you accidentally kill someone too late or too early, you're more likely to do that. Okay. I'm using these like the worn out ones first. Maybe it's also the fact that I fully color in every. Okay. I fully color in every card before I play it, just because why would I play the weak version of it when I have paint? And even when I get to like lower amounts of paint, I never think like, oh, I can only fill in this card this certain amount. It's like, okay, I'm gonna fill in the card completely, but now I'm like a lot closer to being out of paint, so I can just not fill in every single paint splotch I see on the map. Which, since we're getting close, since this is the end of the level, I'm just going to go back and use all of the paint that I have first. Was there any to the right that I missed? Didn't I? I thought I filled in everything over here. But this is a fine part of it. Of this. Oh, hello. Yeah, that's fine. Searching for all of the. Searching for all of the paint splotches that you need to fill in, it's fine, but I feel like I always search in the wrong places, or things are just like seen clearly, but I'm missing them just because I'm a little dumb. That's the other thing, is that when I hit this should have given me. Okay, well, I knocked it over, but that should have given me paint, right? Like, even though I didn't crumple it, this should have given me like orange paint, I would think, when you knock it over, maybe. But there's a bunch of things in the world that are like this, that are like, all right, you just didn't get to. You can't jump over there. Okay. You just didn't get to get. You didn't get any paint, and you just wasted your time a little bit. I feel like that form of wasting your time is worse than the battle mechanics wasting your time. That one took 3 hits just because you think you're aiming like fine enough, and that it should really just fill it in completely when you hit it, but it just doesn't give you enough. So over here? No. Here's the other thing.
You're the only one streaming this game.
I figured. There was only one person streaming it yesterday, I saw. It's not a popular game, and it's especially not popular anymore. Like, it was a big talking point when it came out, because it's Sticker Star 2, but everyone now has, like, overall just, like, forgotten about it. And I don't want to say, like, yeah, it can just be forgotten about, because Paper Mario is, like, one of my favorite series of video games. And even though I have bad memories playing this is another thing that just, like, kind of sits in the background, and, like, you either notice it or you don't, and you just have to, like, walk through the level a bunch of times to, like, alright, is this white? Is this white? Is this supposed to be white like that? Or is that actually just, like, the white that's in the level? But no, this is another thing that is supposed to be filled in. And it makes sense after you hit it, but it's like, alright, great. I didn't actually walk in here and see what the store is like. Apparently this is the only store in the entire game. I don't remember that being correct. Besides, like, the other places that you can, like, trade for things, or, like, pay for a key item, I think. I thought you could get cards in a bunch of different places. You could buy cards in a bunch of different places. I didn't remember this being the only place that you could go to actually go get that. To start out, I'm gonna. I need another cough drop at this point. To start off, I'm gonna try saving my money for a minute, but as soon as we hit, like, the thousands, I feel like I'm just gonna be wasting it all the time, because there's not really. People say you earn money so fast in this game, and it's. I feel like that's true. I don't remember maxing out all the time. Like, there's always things to get, but I don't remember, like, just always having an excess amount of money. Like, there's things you can do with it. Unlike in Sticker Star, where the only thing you can buy is stickers and the things from the Thing Slinger. Well, there's more stuff, I'm sure, over to the left, but we just can't get there yet. Did we talk about him? Church guy. Okay, we'll get to that other side eventually. And then wasn't there? There was a bunch in this portion, but I think there was also out front. Even more. Yes, there was even a sign. Let me see. How long is this boat gonna be here? Is that there the entire game? I don't remember it being like that. Great. So I guess that was the only thing. But just like, this is excessive, but I feel like it's a little indicative of how they see, like, putting color spots like this all over the world. It's like, just throw them wherever, and then the player will fill them in. I might have, like, flipped in, like, the span of just this stream with how I view filling in these color spots already. But it's... But just, like, with how they put all of these right here, all right next to each other, and the only color that you're using to fill them in is basically just red and yellow. And the fact that it uses both to like that amount, like, it doesn't look like a lot when you just hit it once and then you're like, all right, let's keep going. But when you're given so many that you have to fill in, and it takes a couple hits because I'm dumb and I miss it, it's just a little, like, it feels kind of nice when you get it all in one hit, but that's only by comparison of of how hard it can be to try to get some of these. And they can be small spots too, but it's just like, alright, you missed, hit it again, go ahead. This is another one. It fits in so well to, like, the rest of the design that you almost don't think, like, okay, I have to fill that in. It just looks like, yeah, that's what that looks like. Oh, okay. I don't want to go to the world map yet. I'm not even done with the level. But I already went over to the right, and there was nothing else to do for me there. Was it over on this side to get there, or how did I? It was up here. There's nothing here. There's nothing over to the back there. I don't know. It's fine. Whoops. It's fine. This first level, it's not great. And that's not something that's great, that doesn't feel great to say, is that, like, your first experience playing the game, like the first time, the first level that they set up, it's a fine-ish level, but there's nothing, like, There's nothing that feels special about it. It was like a couple of fights. The jokes were funny, but I don't know. It is indicative of the rest of the game that the game is funny like pretty much the whole way through. But right. But it's just so like it felt like you were just walking through the hub of the world anyway. And you could be... They could have filled it, like, with a lot more interesting parts. Unless I'm just dumb and forgot about this part. Was he holding on? No? Was that it? Was that the whole thing? Okay, yeah, it was. Alright, so overall, meh on that level. Let's see how much paint they actually give me to refill everything. Okay, I guess they gave me enough, but I feel like sometimes they don't. And I might be remembering that wrong. Maybe I am just a little dumb. But it... Whatever. And on that first level, it was so... Alright. Like, you fill in all the paint spots. You fight a couple enemies. You learn about, like, the mechanics of everything. But there wasn't a lot special about it. Maybe. Like, I found a few things in there to, like, make my own fun, kind of. And it ended up rewarding me for doing that. I think, but it just as a hub town, I don't think it made for a good first level. I think Sticker Star actually did that better overall. And we'll see more of that map in a minute once I finish up this level, just to see like how big it is overall. Oops, okay. That's the other part, is that it doesn't feel super responsive. Like, I thought I'd missed, and so I hit it again, and now I just had a little bit less paint overall. Where is that, was that where the guy who was talking about his dojo? I'm thinking of the card collector. That might be... Yeah, I think that's where it is. Where you turn in a bunch of cards and show off everything for it. Is it like... Okay. Oops, don't collect all of that yet. Alright, maybe I should have just gone in order on this. Like, I feel a little conflicted about it now, because this, like... It's an okay introduction to filling in a bunch of spots with color like this. But look at how much paint I just used for all of that, and yeah, you'll get some back when you when you come back here and grab these orange. But is that enough? Does it feel like yeah, that was worth how much paint I put into it? I don't know for sure. Hello. Sorry, man. I don't know. It doesn't feel great. Like playing right now, it doesn't. It's not hitting. But I wanna say that it could. Alright, that's not bad. I want to say that it's like it's just too much to color in right now. Like I'm stopping every like 2 seconds to fill in something like that, and it doesn't feel good when that's hello. Like I don't. I keep going back and forth now because like this is genuinely just like a funny scenario to come up on. It's a funny thing to see. But I don't know. Do I want to save it? Here, let's make it a little harder on myself. I'll just use this. It's already filled in anyway. And then I'll use my elite gaming skills to block these damage. Oh, hello. Okay. Probably could have saved my paint better. Does he have to be closer? Is that... Maybe I'm not so good at this game like I was saying I was. Now if I want to see if I just use a non-filled in dusty jump, is it good? That didn't, he was like at half, and that was barely half damage, so I guess it is like generally worth it to like fill in your cards even a little bit. Let's see that. I didn't really like test this kind of thing. I guess. And then he gave me my paint back that he stole. So, was that kind of worth it? I don't know. Yeah. But then again, I was just at full again, and then now I'm that low again. I'm that low again. So it's like, is it really worth it using your paint like so often when I don't know. it. I just wish there were less overall, because I feel bombarded with how many spots there have been so far. Because I feel like I've already colored in over 100. Oh, this is where they teach it. I forgot that doesn't it just feel like obvious? I don't know. To anyone who has never played a Paper Mario and is happening to watch this, let me know if it seemed obvious that you could just attack because you have the hammer in the overworld. If it seemed obvious that you can just attack enemies first and then get an extra special to start. I'm also eating my words a little bit because, like, I'm noticing just, like, the slightest bit of lag to start up on an attack. Not even start up on an attack. To start up selecting your attack. Like, it has to finish the animation of all of your cards unfurling in your hand. Before you can, like, start moving your cursor over to the side. And that might just be like a oh, man. This sickness was it was kicking my ass the other day. I feel like what I was talking about, like the lag, is just kind of a hardware issue, maybe. I don't want to completely blame it on like the game itself, but maybe it's just like it has to finish something first, and then I was getting so close. I was surprised that he wasn't seeing me. I don't want to use. Here's another part where this comes into play, is that I feel like it would be more advantageous for me to use a hammer and target the red Shy Guy first, because the hammer has like an area of effect thing where it damages the people that are in front. I'm sorry, I didn't know it did that. If you just don't do anything for a minute. Are you kidding me? How have I never run into that before? But what I was saying before, hello? Okay. There's like a missing part in my deck for some reason. But what was it? Oh, the targeting. I felt like it would have been more advantageous for me to use a hammer on the second, the back Shy Guy, because I got that first hit. But because of the way the game's targeting automatically works, I was only able to select the front Shy Guy to do any damage to. I can see you in there. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna save that Shy Guy. I don't want to use it right away. Also, I'll just use the Fire Flower. I don't remember the timing on that at all. It's just the idea of like wishing that you could do things that were in previous Paper Mario games that they just took out at one point, Sticker Star, and then never really reintroduced. And it's like, this was a standard at one point, and now it's simply just, well, you know what? I can't say that. Because I think with hammering and... No, am I wrong? This game's making me forget. I don't even remember if you... if you can hammer back enemies in Thousand Year Door. I'll look up later. But it just feels like something you should be able to do. I don't know, maybe. But with jumping, that was a standard for sure. I remember that. That you can jump on any enemy that you wanted to. You can select whatever enemy you wanted to jump on. But here, you just purely go inward. And that's all you get. You do not get to select which enemy you actually like attack first. And so there's less strategy in that aspect too, where say there's a really tough enemy in a line of 5, right? And it's like the third in that line. And you don't get to be like, all right, I'm going to take that guy out first and then try and go for the rest of them with the rest of my attacks or whatever I can do this turn. It's like, no. You can go in order, and if you have something that can attack multiple enemies at once, go for that. But you don't get to get rid of him first. It's just whatever whatever order they decide for you is how you're going to do it. He really is serving. I didn't pick up anything he just said, but I'm sure it was important that I do talk to him. And then eventually I need to remember that we need to come back here somehow to grab that fire extinguisher. Is there a way to get up here now? Doesn't look like it. Oh, the clouds are attached to strings. That's what those were. I was looking in the background and being like, what? Is that like a rope that I need to like somehow bring down to me? Oh, thanks. Thanks for telling me after. I'm pressing the manual real quick. Manual TV. Flip pages, zoom in. Oh, here. So here, this is something else that I wanted to talk about for a minute, was just, with a lot of games that came out, definitely recently, everything on Switch, and then, like, everything, I feel like on PS4 and onward and Xbox One and onward, they never had anything in their game manuals. And that was always like, not frustrating, it was disappointing. Like, because you would get a game and then you would open it up and you'd open a game up after bringing it home from the store and you'd be like, I can't wait to play it. Except I was a little dumb kid and I would always like read the manuals before, or I would like open it up on the way home and read it on the way home. But with so many games recently, they just don't have any manuals. And this game I thought had a manual in the case, but even if it didn't, it has this like virtual manual. And it's like, it's just designed well enough to like reminisce on older game manuals. Because it's like, it's all of this like, I found a line, but I still can't use cutout. And even though we don't know what that means yet, it's like, it's like that style of older game manuals showing you that kind of thing and being like, here's a hint on what to do in this part of the game. Or like, here's how to use this battle mechanic. Or something like that. And it was always just fun reading through those in the first place. Whoops. I'm going to close out of it now. But it was always just nice being able to stop and like, at least in this game, just stop and like read that for a minute. Because even though we were on like the basics of the game, at later points, like when you finish a chapter, it'll have a section that's dedicated to like, when you finish this chapter, you will be able to read this spoiler free. And even if you do accidentally click on it, it'll have like those bubbles that you saw me skip past. And it was nice being able to read through those, and like, even if the chapter itself wasn't amazing, you could still like see what the devs were putting into this game. Even if it wasn't like exactly what people wanted to, you could tell that like they were having fun with designing it. And I think that is like, it's not a huge part in determining what makes a game good, but it helps show that like they wanted it to be good. It wasn't just like another, alright, we're making another Paper Mario, what do you guys think will be fine enough to put in it? Or kind of thing, you know? And it's you would want like the people working on a game to overall want it to be good too. Not just like for the fans' sake or like for like the average player, but just because like, you know, they don't want it to be like looked back they don't want it to be looked back at and like have people think, oh well, that was kind of boring overall, or not be looked back at all and just be forgotten or eventually lost to time. It's like, it's nice knowing by reading those manuals or those parts of the manuals that it was like, yeah, they did have fun making the game partially. Buddy, I can tell you're not. Alright. This is another thing I don't get, is that why would I not be able to just like have better control of the paint hammer and like select where the paint that I'm using goes more easily? Hold on. Alright. Oops. And I feel like I've gotten enough already filled in paint card, or like already painted cards in the overworld, just by playing, to where the battle mechanics of like selecting your card, painting it in, and then flicking it just takes one more step out of the process, and it doesn't feel bogged down. I'm glad that toad has standards. Can I open it? Oh, I can. I don't want that yet, so I'm not going to open the other ones. Oh, and then this is another thing that I can't tell if it's intuitive anymore, just because I've played newer Paper Mario so many times. So many times before, where like, is that intuitive on your first go, where if you hit a Koopa shell that's in its shell already, is it clear that that's just gonna, like, fly off to all of the enemies behind it? That's not it, I think. And that's another thing, is that I see these and I'm immediately just collecting them, not looking whether or not I actually need them just yet. Why am I chewing my cough drop? It's not gonna help me at all. But I can't tell if, like, am I just too used to playing these kinds of games, or is it actually, like, easy enough for people to tell? Is it a kid's game, or is it something that I just know? And then all of the battles seem fine. I don't I wouldn't say that it's not worth doing, because you're always given cards so often, and even though you're using a card, maybe two, it doesn't seem like that big of a hassle to just go through it. But if I say, here, I'm gonna try Flame, see if it actually lets me. Do I have to mash A, or is it just... Am I doing it wrong? Do I have to mash B? Is that it? Now I can't tell if that was, like, better overall. Maybe I'll have to actually try that more to see if I would rather. Because the only times that I would... God. Give me a minute. This is probably going to be the last level I play for right now. Just because I don't think my voice can handle anymore after. But... Okay. Definitely the last level I play. Let me just take it easy for a minute. Saying now. Oh, I'm gonna. You can tell how sick I am with how with how spaced out I am after thinking something. So I'm gonna try fleeing from more battles and see if that is really more worth it than just using the cards and your paint. Oh, that's okay. I didn't want your seat. I don't need it. Okay. Okay. Right. I forgot about that part. I don't know. Am I about to die? Okay, this level's gonna take a little bit longer than I thought it would originally. But I'm definitely gonna take a nice long rest, probably, after, so that I'm not hoiting myself no more by talking, by hoiting my voice. Can I do that? I don't know. This has got to be awful. You're probably not going to be able to hear me very well. That sickness of mine might be coming back after today. Oh, that was the cafe tone. I didn't even put that together. Just murdered them. You know what? He is so valid in this. I can't think of a better way to put that, especially in his situation. Alright. That'll be the last thing I do for right now in this game. I might be back tomorrow? Maybe later today if my voice is already feeling better. It's only 12:47. But right now, I think just give myself a minute and then I'll take care of it. I really miss. I guess there is something else that I need to go do eventually. But like seeing that 97% at the end of the level is another thing that's like, okay, was that my fault or was there like is it like a secret hidden thing that you need to come back and like get a little more guidance, or do you need to use a thing card to unlock it maybe, or maybe because it's so early in the game and there's still things to unlock. Not a lot, but there's still a couple things that you need to unlock to do. Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe there is something else that I can do eventually. But but that's it for me today. God. Hopefully I can get over this sickness soon so I can keep streaming, because I want to keep I want to keep playing for stream, but I just can't handle it right now. God. So if you want to see our stuff on Simulation Soup, all of our VODs will be uploaded onto Simulation Soup VODs on YouTube. I'm slowly, very slowly getting the VODs updated there. I think I have around a month ago our VODs. Just a couple more to upload, but I'll be trying to do that more regularly, as regularly as I can. And if you want to come back another time, drop a follow, turn on those notifications, and you'll get that Say Stinky when you get here notification, and you'll get to say Stinky every single time. We'll encourage it. But thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.